Hello viewers, this presentation is on high pressure liquid chromatography HPLC, a technique which is employed in detection of compounds in a very truthful manner. It covers basically the technique, the principle, its application, the instrumentation used in HPLC basically for postgraduate students. The content of this whole presentation is as follows. What is HPLC? The different types of HPLC, principle on which it works, the mechanism, the parts of the HPLC instrument, and advantages of HPLC in detection of compounds. This is the diagrammatic representation of the HPLC instrument as to how the mobile phase, the pump, the injector, the column, and how the data is processed and we get the chromatogram as a final result. So what is HPLC? As the name suggests, high pressure liquid chromatography. Is similar to column chromatography as I've shown and I presented in my earlier presentations on chromatography. The only difference lies is that the sample is now injected at very high pressure through a column which is a stationary phase, and the mixture or the analyte is the solvent which is the mobile phase. As you all know that everything has a history as to how it was discovered, so the following two slides will cover the discovery of HPLC. As you all know, the term HPLC was coined by Professor Caspar Hauer in 1970, and he used a Petcon paper to perform chromatography. In the beginning, the pumps which were used had less capability of 35 bar. Later on, pumps were used which had a pressure of about 400 bars came into use, and the time involved in the process became many times less. High pressure liquid chromatography has nowadays become a very powerful tool for an analytical chemist because of its ability to separate, identify and quantify the compounds which are soluble in any of the solvents. Now, today's we can identify the compounds in trace concentrations also, and due to such high accuracy and precision, it is now called high precision liquid chromatography and UPLC. Now we have to see the various types of HPLC. First is the normal phase HPLC, which works on the parameter of polarity. The polar stationary phase, there is a non-polar mobile phase. The stationary phase is a silica, and the mobile phases are hexane, methylene chloride, chloroform, diethyl ether, and a mixture of any of these. Polar samples are retained on the polar surface of the column for a longer time than the less polar material. Now this is a reversed phase HPLC. As the name suggests, reverse phase. That earlier the normal HPLC is slightly different from it. Like here the stationary phase is non-polar, while the mobile phase is polar, such as a mixture of water, methanol or acetonitrile. Here the non-polar material is retained for a longer time. We are going to discuss the principle on which the HPLC works. HPLC works on the following two equations which are represented in the two slides. First is the Van Detmer equation, as you all can see. Here the components A, B, C and U are different. One is the eddy diffusion, longitudinal diffusion, resistance to mass transfer, average mobile phase velocity. Hauer and Knox equation. This equation was used or came into existence in order to correct the deviation from Van Detmer equation. The Knox equation is usually expressed in dimensionless reduced from, since the physical meaning of the term is not clear. Now in the following slides, we'll see the procedure of how the HPLC instrument works. This is a simple line diagram which I have drawn on a piece of paper and try to explain the mechanism of the HPLC, how you inject the sample, how it is detected, and how you get the chromatogram with peaks on it, which we later analyze. The sample is injected into the column. The stationary phase is the silica. The mobile phase can be an aqueous medium or an organic solvent. According to the miscibility, interaction between the mobile phase and the stationary phase, two types of scenario result. I think this pencil diagram explains you how the phobic molecules move through the silica bead. Now we'll discuss about the parts of the HPLC in the forthcoming slides. As you all can see, on the right side is the HPLC system. We have labeled the whole system as the solvent reservoir, degasser, solvent delivery system, injector, column and oven, the detector, and the records or the data collection on the computer screen, which is attached to the HPLC instrument. You can see this is the solvent reservoir. We have studied two types of HPLC, normal and reverse phase. In the normal, the mobile phase, these bottles are filled up with a polar solvent. While in case of the reverse phase, water is used as the base solvent. pH is adjusted by buffer to modify separation of ionizable solutes. All have seen in the slide number 20 that there is a part known as degasser. Why is this important, or why is it used? It is an important part in order to remove the air in the pump and air in the optical detector, like the UV fluorescence which we are using. If air will be present in the pump, the retention time problems will come. And if it is in the optical detector, the light will scatter and you will not get the proper noise spikes in the chromatogram or an off signal. The solvent delivery system, that is the pump, what is its role? Its role is to pump the mobile phase at a specific speed, at a specific flow. The normal flow is from 1 to 3 milliliter per minute. The pressure at that time is 2000 psi. Typical pumps can reach the pressure to 6000 to 9000 psi also. During the chromatographic experiment, a pump can deliver a constant mobile composition or an increasing phase composition. Injector. There are two types of injector, a manual injector and an auto sampler. In manual injector, we have to personally go and put in the syringe and inject the solution into the column. Whereas the auto sampler is slightly different, more mechanical. It uses load vials for sample solution and it automatically injects the sample, empties it out, and then it is ready to take in the next sample of a fixed volume. Column, which is the most important part, or you can say this is the heart of the HPLC. As you can see in the diagram above, it is a polished stainless steel instrument of 50 to 300 millimeter long and having a diameter of about 2 to 5 mm. They are filled with the stationary phase. The particle size of the silica is 3 to 10 μm. Columns with internal diameters of less than 2 millimeter are often referred to as microbore columns. There are several types of columns used in HPLC, the normal phase column and the reverse phase column. The normal phase column, we use the silica gel, the polymer gel. In the reverse phase, we use silica gel which is coated with ODS and or CH. The detector. The HPLC has two types of detector. It can be a UV detector or a fluorescence detector depending upon the compound which is going to be analyzed. Type of detector, that is the refractive index detector or the RI or the RID. It measures the refractive index of the analyte relative to the solvent. As you all know, the refractive index is in relation, so it has got no unit. They are often used as detectors for high pressure liquid chromatography and size exclusion chromatography. Also, now here's the recorder. It records the data, plots the chromatogram, and we get the output through the computer attached, and we get a printout of the peaks which are present in the sample, which we can analyze and detect the structure of the compound. Now in the end, we'll see some applications of HPLC in the last few slides. HPLC can be used both for qualitative and quantitative applications. It is used in pharmaceutical industry to control the drug stability, pharmaceutical quality control, tablet dissolution study. It has environmental applications, detection of phenolic compounds in drinking water, thereby helping in checking the quality of water, biomonitoring the pollutants which are present in the air. HPLC is also used in food industry. It measures the quality of the soft drinks in the water, the sugar analysis of fruit juices. It is used as in analysis of the preservatives. It analyzes the polycyclic compounds in vegetables, as well as it has clinical tests also, like urine analysis, antibiotic analysis in blood. After we take in medicines, the antibiotics are prevalent in our blood, so we can analyze by clinical tests. It analyzes the bilirubin, biliverdin in order to detect the hepatic disorders. It detects indigenous neuropeptides in extracellular fluid of the brain. One of the recent applications of HPLC is in forensic science study. It quantifies the drugs in biological samples, whether the person has taken drugs like morphine, codeine, any type of drug which he is having. It detects the presence of steroids in blood and sugars. It is used to detect textile dyes for forensic analysis. It detects the cocaine and other drug abuse in blood and urine samples of persons who are addicted. I think this presentation covers the whole of the HPLC, its principle, instrumentation, application. The slides are virtually explaining the process, and they are all well explained to give you a deep in-depth of how the instrument works and what are its uses for a chemist. Thank you so much for your patience listening.